Can AI actually help recreate a Steam game? That's the experiment I wanted to run. So this experiment wasn't to prove AI could make a popular or viral Steam game, but it was to take a viral or popular Steam game, take the core mechanics of it, the idea of it, and see if AI could help recreate the core parts of the game. Not an original game, but just the core parts. So I thought a game about digging a hole was the perfect candidate. It had basic mechanics. The gameplay loop wasn't that complicated. It's a pretty basic game loop, and I thought AI could handle all the code and possibly do more. So why I ran this experiment? Well, we've all seen all over X the one prompt game videos and supposed full games. We've seen every time a new model comes out, there is a new game or a load of new games from Fable 5 to now Opus 5 of these supposedly one-shot games that are going to change the whole industry. Well, I didn't think that was actually true. So I wanted to put true game development to the test with AI, to not just one prompt a game, a web game, and see what happens, but to give it a real prompt, a real game, a real experiment, and go through the actual game dev process. The prompting it, testing it, iterate on it, adding your own human elements to it, seeing what AI or how far AI could actually take you. I didn't want the end goal to be a prototype. I wanted it to be a fully playable game that you could test right now. So I want to set some rules. And the first one that I think was most important was to take a game that was already successful, a Steam game that was super popular and had great success already. Because I didn't want to be testing multiple variables like, is the game original? Is it fun? And also pushing AI to the limits to see what it can actually do mechanically. So I wanted to run a decently controlled experiment. So I thought taking an established game loop where I didn't have to worry about originality or if it was fun or not, and locking that in and just worrying about AI writing the mechanics or writing the code, building the mechanics, and integrating inside of Unity. Another thing I wanted it to do fully was write the code. And this is for people, to show others who have zero coding experience, have no interest in writing code, or are really bad at it or have a hard time learning it, to show them what AI is actually capable of and how well it can do. I've learned through my own experience that AI is really great at building systems one at a time, doing smaller tasks, and I wanted to apply that to this. The same way we would do a actual gameplay or game development is make small tasks, make small systems, build on those, iterate on those until they become larger and larger systems. Another thing I wanted to try or use was Unity MCP with Claude. I hadn't used it before, and I wanted to integrate Claude inside of Unity and give it as much control as possible to see what it was capable of. How much code could it write? What tools could it create? What scenes could it create? How it could manipulate or use assets? I wanted to see how much Claude could actually do when it was working inside of the engine. And the final rule is to publish the result. The result is the most important part of the game. It is something that you can test, you can try out as a viewer, as a player. I could post as many videos as I want of this is what AI made, but until you get your hands on it, you can't really tell or feel what it actually created. So like I said before, I wanted the workflow to be just like real development, real game development. I wanted it to be planning it out, giving the prompt to Claude, treating Claude as if it's a developer and not just some agent, a real person, well, not really a real person, but as if you were a director sitting next to your lead developer telling them what you want, and then having Claude build it, and then having yourself test it or myself test it, fix it, and reiterate or repeat. This was the process. This is the same process I use for game development. This is the same process used for all kinds of fields of software. And I think AI was capable of it or would be capable of it. So this is the process I wanted to implement. I did not want to try to one-shot this. I didn't think it was possible. This was not a test to try to one-shot this game. This was a fully, how can we use AI to help us improve our development of games as a tool? So what did Claude do well? Well, it wrote all the code, and for pretty much the whole time, I didn't have I didn't have to fix any real errors or anything like that. It was since it was integrated inside of Unity, when it would write code, it would run tests and check the console to see if the code was actually functioning properly and if there were any compile errors. So I didn't have to worry about like the old way of copying and pasting when you copy and pasted it into your IDE or whatever you used. You would always have to worry about compile errors or bugs. Well, Claude handled this from the get-go without me having to tell it. It would build tools, it would use those tools and run those tools, and it would take screenshots of inside of Unity while it was building out the code and the scenes. If I thought systems were getting too bloated or too complicated, I could give it in high level terms, in basic terminology, what I thought it should do or should try, or if there was a simpler way to do it. And it would understand that and usually agree or give a alternative to my suggestion, or maybe a combination. And it was super fast at iteration. I was able to spin up a first version of the game in the first night, and then after that was pretty much just adding features and polish every night after that. This made prototyping drastically faster and easier and allowed me to test as a developer and as a director the polish and the features of the game. Another thing it was really good at was UI. I could give it screenshots of example UI and then point it to a asset pack that I had and say, create UI elements similar to this using this asset pack, and it could do it in no problem. Maybe a few iterations, but usually it was pretty identical to what the example was that I gave it. So Claude had a really hard time placing scenes or creating scenes. It could do some general placement, but usually objects were not at the right elevation, or there were gaps or bumps and the player had issues walking through it. Or if I wanted it to be more complex path later on, then it had a hard time laying out certain assets. Certain scenes it did fine with, and certain times just populating things with certain objects, it was okay. But if it was a more complex path or like hallways or corridors, I found gray boxing was a better way to do it, and having it gray box actually helped. You could tell it, or I told it to gray box using primitives, and then I added the assets later on, the Cinti assets, the environment assets over the gray boxed primitives. Another thing it wasn't very good at was the gameplay feel. It would add, or it could add polish and juice and VFX and all kind of other things, but pretty much at every iteration or every point of the process, it kind of, I think it thought it was done. There wasn't any need for any more polish. So that's where the human element came in, or my human element came in, of testing it out and telling it to add more particles or screen shake or VFX or particle effects or sound effects, pointing it to those assets. It could add some, but usually it left that kind of, or those areas, a little more bare or bland. There were certain times Claude could test well and other times it couldn't. Testing scenes after coding things or adding new functions, it did pretty well, or pretty good job. But overall testing, usually you still need the human element. I still needed to go in there and press play and test it out myself. It would say it would test it, but it needed the human perspective and then knowing what to build next. That's where Claude, like I said earlier, at every step of the way, it kind of, I feel like it thought it was a finished game. But there's always that little more juice as a human player that you know the games need, a little more polish, elements it's missing. And that's something it falls short in. It needs that creative perspective of the little sound effects, the little particles, all little things that make a game come to life. The stretching, the scaling, the rotating of objects as you interact with them. So here are the results. I think the game was a success. I think the experiment was a success. Yeah, the game is not as polished or as perfect as the original game, but it wasn't for perfection. It was for copying the mechanics and the overall feel and loop of the game. And I think it was a pretty successful experiment when it came to that. Pretty much all the core mechanics were there. Nothing was really missing. Everything else that if I didn't include it from the real game was just a little bit more time that would be needed, like the chase enemies at the end or some extra functions or perks that you could purchase or use when you're digging. Maybe the fidelity of the game could have been improved, but that's just more polish on top of that. Overall, the game took about 5 weeks, about 30 hours of dev time, averaged around 1 or 2 hours a night. Remember, the idea wasn't to create an original title. The idea was to take something that was successful, a successful game, and see how close we could copy it. That's why this game wasn't a Steam game. I didn't charge any money. It's free to play right now. It was an experiment to see how close you can use AI or how well AI could do to create a real playable game. I'm sure I'll get a lot of the game slop, the game looks bad, the game other choice words. I've seen it all before. And that's fine because that wasn't the point of this experiment. The experiment wasn't making a actual Steam game, a game that I would sell. That's not the point of the experiment. So I think some of the biggest lessons here is AI is not at a point to create one prompt games. Yeah, you might could do some smaller web games like that, but for actual real games, like for Steam games or Windows-based games, we're pretty far from that. Game dev still requires, even with using AI, still requires a huge amount of human elements. AI is great at writing the code and building out features for you and testing things and debugging things, but it still needs that human element. It still needs the creativity that you bring, the artistry that you bring, all the decision making that you bring. And I don't think AI will ever take that away. I think that is why game dev as a whole is pretty safe from AI. Yeah, we're going to see a lot of games come out in the future that are not the best AI creations, but AI opens up a lot of doors for people. It allows people who are not very good at writing code or have no interest in learning it or have struggled learning it, people who are creative, who are artists at heart, who have these great visions of games, it allows them to create their masterpieces, or it will allow them to create their masterpieces. They can still have full creative direction, full creative control, and now they have a cheap alternative to creating the game, writing the code. Instead of having to learn it all, take years and learn it all, or pay someone tens of thousands of dollars, they can pay a small monthly fee and use AI to help them write the code and create their game. AI still requires you to iterate, to test, to have full creative control, to decide what should be included, what shouldn't be included. Most aspects of game dev, even including AI in the process, will still require human involvement and human direction. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you get something out of it. And if you're one of the anti-AI people out there, maybe this will help you change your mind or see it a little differently. And if you are on the fence about it, maybe it'll push you towards that AI can be a useful tool. And if you're just getting into it or you use AI all the time, maybe this will help you learn more about it or see what it's actually capable of. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.